Switch gears. Joining me now is Jason Chaffetz, former Utah congressman. He's a Fox News contributor. He's a fellow at the Government Accountability Institute. We got some sound on TikTok from today's hearing. Take a listen, Jason.
Do you disagree with FBI Director Wray and NSA Director Nakasone when they said that the CCP could have the capability to manipulate data and send it to the United States? Do you disagree with their statement?
Their statement says could.
So do you disagree with that?
No, I don't disagree with that.
Well, that's interesting. They got a lot of high-priced lobbyists down there, and they couldn't even deny that. So that's quite interesting. Jason Chaffetz, thanks for coming on. You know something about this. I just want to start by saying, I don't care whether whether ByteDance sells TikTok or not. I would still say TikTok has to go. It is deeply embedded, personal information, whereabouts, pictures, and all the rest. They have a habit, by the way, the Chinese, of taking pictures of strategic bases, ICBM bases, nuclear bases. And the other thing is they send messages to young people that are just awful, putting weird stuff into their heads. Anyway, what do you think?
No, I agree with you. I think you have to shut it down, turn it off, and get rid of it. And I don't, just because there's 150 million people using it or 1,000 people using it, I think the moral imperative is still the same. If we're going to have the best intelligence agencies in the world, and they are unanimously telling us this is happening, you have a bipartisan approach to this in the House, in the Senate, Intel committees on both sides. Senator Mark Warner, others leading out there saying this is a hazard, this is happening. You can't just sort of turn it off. You have to shut it down.
I don't understand. I don't know. I didn't have time to watch the hearings today. What was the case that this TikTok? I mean, they've hired high-priced. They had to, I read someplace they got over 100 lobbyists working the Hill. What was his argument? Do you know?
I thought he was fairly poor in his answers. Having been the former chairman of the committee, the way he should have answered it is say, you know what, we play by the rules that are here. We play by the law that is in the United States. If you want to change it, Mr. Congressman, then you should change it. But he never did that. He tried to play nice. How many times did he go to the notes and say, well, can I get back to you on that? I mean, he was not prepared to deal with this hearing. I would also be critical of Congress, though, because I got to tell you, there aren't 10 nerds in the House and Senate that have the aptitude to actually ask a probing question about how the algorithm actually works. It's a problem. It's a real problem, Larry. I think we should look to what Europe tried to do with the right to be forgotten. If you're a minor, I think you should be able to get out of these contracts. And I think if you should be able to end the contract when you sign that terms of agreement to get TikTok and all the other social media companies, by the way, shouldn't you be able to terminate that contract? Why should they be able to have that in perpetuity? That's the concern.
Well, look, I sat on CFIUS. I went through that process. I worked with Mnuchin, I worked with O'Brien about this. One of the things that we came up with, no matter how, again, selling ByteDance sales means nothing.
Right.
The wiring is the wiring. The software is the software.
That's right.
It's stuff that I frankly don't know. Virtualization is stuff that, I'm not schooled in it. I know a tiny bit about it. But it has the capacity to find out not only who you are and what you say, but where you are. Yeah. That's a very important part of that. And that where you are, we have found out with Huawei that had to be booted out because they had little tiny cameras on wooden telephone poles next to big American military bases. That's what they did until the FBI stepped in and took them down. That's why a sale means nothing to me. And last point, Robert O'Brien has told me this again and again. ByteDance, TikTok, any of these Chinese companies are effectively instrumentalities of the Chinese Communist Party, which runs the Chinese government.
Absolutely. You listen to John Radcliffe or Robert O'Brien.
Yes.
Other people who really actually understand this, have studied it, have the intelligence apparatus at their fingertips to be able to dive into it. You got to shut it down. The longer you go, the more problem that you create. But Congress has got to act. Don't create a
What's
bill
Congress
just.
have to do? What do they need? They need
Congress shouldn't
legislation?
do a bill just on TikTok. You got to set the rules of the road. And there are other social media companies that are out of bounds too in how they manipulate that data. And when you sign a term of agreement, and again, Congress allows them at age 13 to enter into these agreements.
Right.
They ought to be checking boxes saying, did you know you're giving up this? This is the type of surveillance.
If Congress does that, Jason Chaffetz, will Biden sign it?
He'd have to.
He'd have to.
Because it'd be bipartisan.
And I think, hats off to Mark Warner, a friend of mine from Virginia on the Intel Committee.
Yeah.
He's done a good job to make
Fabulous
it bipartisan.
job. He's one of the best voices on this. He actually
All
understands.
right, Jason Chaffetz, please run for the Senate. Oops, I shouldn't have said that.